I am Rob from iTech Pickers. This is Tuesday night. Here I am with the coronavirus update for tonight. I'm gonna show you a little video here. That was from January 28th, so more than almost 2 weeks ago. Um, and I'm listen to this guy. This guy is spot on. He is. He is right, and I haven't seen many people who are knowledgeable in terms of public officials up to now, but this guy gets it. Listen where he says.
He's also a member of FIZZ's board and a CNBC contributor. I think instead of a vaccine, you might think we need to get a quick detection method that doesn't need blood or doesn't need to be sent out to a clinic to determine whether it is. And there's a way of doing that with antigens on the surface of the coronavirus.
Right. I think we're going to have outbreaks here in the U.S. We need to start preparing for that. That doesn't mean we're going to have an epidemic here, but to avert an epidemic, we need to do better diagnostic,
not
right.
Vaccines. Yeah.
And right now, the diagnostic test we have requires samples to be sent off. It takes a number of days to get a positive result back. What you really need is a point-of-care diagnostic that allows you to screen people out quickly. And if people, have presumptive infection, isolate them.
Can I just ask, what do we know anything about the incubation? I've heard anywhere from 1 to 14 days.
Yeah, it looks like it's about a week. So you've seen a range of 2 to 10 days in some of the more recent analysis. Some people have said up to 2 weeks, but I think a rule of thumb should be it's about a week. That's typical of a coronavirus. So that's what we should be working from right now, basically.
So basically, this guy gets it, and he's saying what I've said in a previous video. The only way we're going to be able to defeat this is to have a testing method that is very efficient, very fast, and we are going to set up checkpoints at various places, and everybody is going to get tested for the virus. So we're going to get the people, the spreaders, right away and isolate them and treat them. Because right now you've got like thousands upon thousands of people who are infected. They have no symptoms and they are spreading the virus. You've probably seen the news. They were talking about a guy that they call him the super spreader, and they make him look like he's just like going around the world trying to spread the virus to anybody, like he's some kind of a terrorist. But this guy was never aware of anything because he wasn't sick. He had no symptoms. So he just did his things. And a bunch of people got infected, but that's not his fault. But they make him look like he's the bad guy here, and it's typical that we're going to see a lot of this in the media. They're gonna try to blame the victims, blame the people who were sick, instead of blaming the real culprits, which are the officials in China, the government officials, and the World Health Organization, who are responsible for this. Now again, listen to this guy. He is spot on. He is pretty much saying the same thing that I've been saying since the very beginning of this epidemic, is that the numbers that are reported by the media around the world, by the World Health Organization, by Johns Hopkins Institute, they are complete BS. These numbers are made up numbers by the government in China. I can tell you exactly where they get these numbers. They're getting these numbers from Chinese state television, and the television in China, the news organizations, they're all owned by the government. So every information that is being given to the public in China it's controlled and by the government. Journalists are not allowed to speak their mind. It's one of the worst countries in terms of freedom of press. There is no freedom of press in China. So the numbers that are being published in the Chinese media, they come from the state, from the government. And this is where those people, the World Health Organization, and all of the mainstream news channels here in the West, this is where we all get these numbers. The 45,000 people infected, the 1,100 people dead. They all get these numbers from Chinese state television, but these numbers are total BS. The Chinese government, they publish these numbers so that to keep their population ignorant. I'm telling you, the number of people infected with the coronavirus in China now is at least 500,000 people. At least. Probably more than that, but at least 500,000 people infected now. And the number of dead, it's at least 10,000. Probably more now. Maybe 12,000, 15,000, maybe more. But this 1,000 people dead, it's a joke.
Well, I think it's dramatically underestimated based on
Like dramatically a factor of what?
tens of thousands. And there's some analyses coming out that said that there may be as many as 300,000 cases in China right now.
And we're talking about 4,000. And you're talking about hundreds of
official
thousands.
number versus, right.
Right. Also remember, they only rolled diagnostics out to most of the healthcare facilities in late January. So there's a whole bunch of cases they didn't even test. So there must be people who passed away from viral-like pneumonia that weren't even tested that we'll never capture. If you put it in perspective in terms of the reporting that we have right now, we know the numerator, we don't know the denominator. So it does suggest that maybe it's less virulent than you would suppose based on the statistics we have. That doesn't make it any less concerning.
When you look at the steps that they're taking, do you see?
Now, you have heard my show, my update yesterday. I talked to you about Tedros, Dr. Tedros of the World Health Organization. And I think most people by now have realized that this guy is a scumbag. He's been more preoccupied with is this guy here. And he was more preoccupied with protecting the image of the communist China than protecting the lives of people. And it just seems that this guy, it's not the first time that he is being a fucking scumbag. This guy's from Ethiopia. It's one of the poorest country in the world. If you remember in the 80s, there was a famine there, and the army was taking all the money of the country for themselves, and they just left their people out to die. And we saw that was horrible. And if you remember the singers in the United States, they made a video called "We Are the World" to gather money to send to Ethiopia to feed the children who were dying of hunger. And all of that money ended up in the hands of the army and the ruling class, and they bought champagne with the money, and they just left their people out to die. So Tedros, he is from Ethiopia, I sensed that there was something wrong with that guy when I first saw him at the World Health Organization. And he has been known to cover up deadly epidemics before. People have accused him because of in his country, Ethiopia, there has been cholera epidemics in 2006, 2009, and 2011, and hundreds of people died because of this. And he covered up those epidemics because he was paid to protect the Ethiopian government, and he lied about it. And as a result, hundreds of poor people, lost their lives because of this scumbag. So you can read the reports. It's on the internet. So I mean, I can't believe that this guy is still in charge, probably getting paid like insane amounts of money. Uh, this guy should be fired because and remember that this guy he has been notified at the end of December of the coronavirus in Wuhan, and he did nothing. He just stuck his head up his ass and just let the poor Chinese people die. So that's all I had to say about him for today. Now this video is very hard to watch. It's supposed to be from Wuhan. Of course, it's not been independently verified. But it shows what the real conditions are in the hospitals and right now, and it's very hard to watch. But I think people should know that because Chinese state television is publishing completely different images of smiling people, smiling doctors, and everything being fine. Well, in China right now, they're in a critical stage. They're having food shortages now. Uh, they're on the brink of civil war, and these images they're from Koreana Jones. He is a Korean YouTuber, and he's been following the coronavirus outbreak from the very beginning, and he's been publishing videos that have been smuggled out of China by citizen journalists. And so yeah, I will put a link to his channel. I think you really should follow him. He is a person with a heart, and he's trying to help the poor Chinese people who are suffering because of their government and because of the corrupt international agencies like the World Health Organization right now. So you probably have figured out by now they want to save on body bags. So you have they are taking these children that have died of the coronavirus, and they are putting them all in one body bag so as to save on body bags. Because from what I've heard, they have a shortage of body bags because so many people died, way more than the 1,100 that they are reporting in the Chinese state media. If that doesn't make your blood boil, then nothing will. So that has been seen today. It's circulating these images. It's horrible. That's how horrible the situation is in China right now, and they are not in control of this. They are not in control. This disease, this plague, is coming out. It's coming out of China. It's going. You need to prepare. It's going to. It's gonna. Pretty soon you will see epicenters in other countries.
Coronavirus is a catastrophe on the scale of Chernobyl for China. But actually it's probably worse than Chernobyl, which was localized in its effect. The coronavirus could result in a global pandemic. While you were all sleeping overnight, the number of diagnosed cases in China increased by 30%. Now, let me be clear, that's not new cases, that is just newly admitted cases. It is probably several orders of magnitude higher than that.
So guys, this is Rob from iTech Pickers. That was my Tuesday update. Of course, I'm gonna try to keep this one short because I have other matters to attend to. As I told you, be prepared. Get to know what you need to be prepared for this pandemic, because it's not just gonna be a Chinese thing for very long. And of course, your politicians, they will not save you. They will throw you under the bus when that plague comes to your country. So if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Like the video if you like it. If you don't like it, you can dislike it. And I will see you soon.